Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with my good friend, Miss Lisa. Welcome to the talk show. We're going to hear from her when we come back from this commercial break. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Today's guest is an amazing voiceover actress. We're going to hear her stories and some of the books that she written, and are available on Amazon Kindle and all where books are available. When we come back from this commercial break, it is the holidays on the KeithAndrewNetWork.
Hello, I'm Lisa Swinton. I am here with Keith Andrew on the Keith Andrew Network. So pleased to be here, and thank you for having me, and keep up the good work.
Every journey begins with a single step and the courage to keep climbing. At Keith Andrew Network, real stories become moving animation, challenges turn to victories, and creativity paves new paths.
Back for the quick commercial break, we're here with a wonderful voiceover actress, Miss Lisa, and welcome to the holiday episode of the Keith Andrew Network.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
No, the honor is all mine. For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them you can stem out to something. So that being said, that's a half hour of your time. Freedom of speech. And the first question subject we're going to talk about, funny enough, because it's snowing right now, it's icebreakers. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm a voiceover actor. I am a former professional singer from Las Vegas. I grew up on the East Coast near Washington, D.C. I am happily married for about 26 years now. I have two beautiful children. And I've always been a creative. I've started with dance, singing, acting, moved into writing books, and now voice acting. So my life is all about creativity and sharing joy.
When you were in high school and college, were you a study nerd or a party animal?
Oh, no. I'm a study girl. I know how to have fun, but I don't drink, and I don't enjoy those types of activities, but I like to have fun.
Was there any activities like sports that you wanted to do professionally, or any sports you did for fun?
Oh, no, I never wanted to be a professional athlete. I hopped around between a lot of different things. I had friends who convinced me to do swim team my junior year. I was the worst person on the team, but that was fine because I knew it. But I enjoyed the companionship, the camaraderie. And I also did color guard, which is the flag twirling with the marching band. So I love working in groups. I also did gymnastics my freshman year. I did gymnastics, soccer, dance growing up. And then in college, I studied musical theater. So that was a combination of singing, acting, and dancing. Everything from ballroom to tap to lyric and jazz, all of it. So I'm an active person. I like being in motion, but I am not a professional athlete on any scale.
Hey, you can do laps around me. I can't act my way out of a wet paper bag. But it's funny you should mention gymnasts, but this is a subject I bring up just for fun, and I guess to entertain with the audience. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or are you not into the whole? Because you mentioned you were in a gymnast. Was that something you ever did or never wanted to do?
I did it from about age 6 to 14, so for about 8 years. And I did a really mean cartwheel. I had a pretty good vault accident and a bad front handspring accident. Those probably both broke my tailbone, but I never had it checked. So I mean, injury is part of doing sports, unfortunately. Thankfully, we're a lot better about it now with these generations, about getting them the the active care that they need in case of injury so that they can heal properly. I have rehabbed 9 different muscle joint groups in my body over my lifetime. Most recently, my left knee, because I re-injured an injury from when I was 13. So I had to go through physical therapy again for that one. So
I'm a big loser, but I like the whole human pyramid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has I taught my kids from the time they were little, I was like, everybody has something. Some disabilities or impairments you can see right away, and others you can't see, but they're still there. And so always know that whoever you meet is dealing with something.
No, I agree. So the next question I want to talk to you about is, you mentioned you are a voiceover actress. What attracted you to begin your career, and what were some of your greatest achievements?
Okay. Well, I got to a certain point, I have a degree in musical theater, and I got to a certain point where I was kind of done learning lines. I love the camaraderie of working with a big group of people and learning the music and putting it all together. But I was getting kind of done with memorizing lines and necessarily dealing with costume issues. But I missed using my voice. I love singing. I love using character and building characters. So I thought, well, can I do all of that? And the easiest answer was voiceover. For sure, because you can use all of those things. You're behind the mic. You don't have to worry about if you're in your pajamas or a evening ball gown with a feather in your hair. Nobody cares what you look like. They only care what you sound like and if you can convey the emotion of the moment through your voice. So that's what attracted me to voiceover. And as far as projects, I was very grateful. I auditioned for a project for a very small role at the time, and the next thing I knew, I was on a phone call with the creator out in Los Angeles, and he said, you auditioned for this small role, but I want to cast you in something much bigger. And that was how I became the narrator for Journeys. And then we're on our 2nd season now. Next year, we'll start recording again. And my character has now evolved from being the narrator. I now have a name. I'm now also the character of Amara. And she is this omniscient, omnipresent, basically voice of God type throughout the whole series. And it's been great to meet other voice actors from all over the world, because we're a global cast, and to share in creating this. It's an immersive audio drama experience. So we have original soundtrack, we have Foley effects, all of that kind of stuff built in. And then I had opportunities this year to also I love doing indie films, so I have done some different voices for indie films, including AI ones, which I think is always fun as a real person to impersonate AI, because you get more nuance in the emotion that AI still isn't able to convey, and I don't think that will ever be taken away from us. But also, I had the opportunity to voice an audiobook called The Dragons of Alsace Farm by Laurie Lewis, and it is a beautiful story about 3 people coming together to form a family unit. We have a grandmother who is going through the stages of dementia, a granddaughter who that's her only remaining family, and kind of a lost soul neighbor that needs someone to care for and someone to care for him. So it was a beautiful story to be able to bring to life.
No, I agree. As long as you're a storyteller, you can tell any story out there. So the next one I want to ask you is, this one's an interesting question. Was there someone that influenced you, or someone who you admired that you wanted to be just like in the voiceover community?
Wow. That is an excellent question. I don't think I'm going to be able to pinpoint one person. One of the beautiful things that I've come to discover about the voiceover community is that there are things to learn from each person that I meet and to admire in each voice actor that I meet. Everybody that's connected, whether they're a voiceover actor or a casting director, a manager, a coach, everybody brings something to the table that's unique and that I can add to my toolbox, so to speak. But also they're incredibly kind and generous community, which I was curious about, having come from the book world, whether that would be true in both worlds, because it's very true in the book world, at least the part that I come from, that everybody's incredibly kind and generous and come from the mentality of all boats float. Do you know what I mean? The rising tide lifts everyone. So your win isn't my loss. Your win is our win, kind of an idea. So I can't pinpoint one person, but there have been, it's just been an amazing gift to meet so many people with so many different talents that they're willing to share.
No, hands down, for me, I'm a big fan of audiobooks. I listen to occasionally Tom Clancy. I listen to James Brown. I'm drawing a blank on this one. I Am Michael Bennett. I Am the Michael Bennett series, one of my favorites. I would recommend it to you and anyone out there. Blood and Ice is another great book. Also, some of the motion comic books, but the comic books turned into audiobooks, are actually really good too. I listened to, I think it was 1984, Civil War, or Secret War, or Civil War. But it was based off the comic book, turned into an audiobook. So for me, I'm not a big reader, mostly the fact I can't read, but I do like the audio aspect because it doesn't matter if you're driving, it doesn't matter if you're traveling. Audiobooks are perfect because you can listen to it anytime, any place, and anywhere.
I agree. I've become a big audio fan the last couple of years, audiobook fan.
Now, the next one I want to ask you is, what are some of your favorite acting roles that you have done over the years? Do you like doing the voiceovers where you're upbeat and cheerful? I'm gonna bust it out word. Upbeat and cheerful, or do you like playing the bad guy?
I like upbeat and cheerful, but I also love to play a good villain. Quite a few of my roles live on stage have been the villain role, which I always think is fun because it's a part of my personality that I don't tap into in my day-to-day life. But it's very fun for theater. To that point, the last bucket role that I did, if you want, for live theater was Hairspray, and I played Velma Von Tussle. She's the mean one. So that was fun to play a mean girl. Yeah. And then as far as younger, I've had a lot of roles over the years, but that was a really fun one to do. Yeah. I like character. So, I had auditions this week where I had to cry, and so I did. So it depends. But yeah.
Now, the next one I want to talk to you about, you mentioned AI, and I think I make a lot of fan-made parodies for AI videos for fun because my audience caters from the ages of 6 up to 60. I'll give you an example. My primary goal is to interview people in the entertainment world. Now, my niece, who's like 7, or I think she's going to be 8, but she may not be interested in watching me talk to people in the entertainment world. She may or may not. So I'm like, okay, how can I cater to the younger audience? Well, I do a lot of fan-made parodies of Dumbo, Jungle Book, or the Human Pyramid stuff. And I bring the entertainment aspect to saying, hey, you say you're just based on talking, talk space and doing audio interviews. But for the younger audiences, it's really nice that you're branching out and that you're trying to incorporate different aspects of the entertainment world. Hey, who doesn't like Jumbo or Jumbo Book, right? So why not make something and say, hey, if you don't like subject A, then you're going to like subject B or C. You can't have all your ducks in a row and saying talk show host with a disability. Then people are going to figure one trick pony. And as you are a book writer, you also do narration and a whole bunch of great other things, and you fall in the same category. You have to expand your horizon because it's always good to say, I can do different things to entertain other people, if that makes any sense.
It did. So I think in regards to AI, artificial intelligence is here to stay. That's not a secret, right?
Right.
I think when we ethically source and use AI. That doesn't take away from the human elements that are needed. And is also, if we're using human elements, that those people are properly compensated. We're not stealing their IP. We're not stealing their voicing, cloning it, which is why I support NAVA, the National Association for Voice Actors, because they do a lot of work with trying to protect our voices. So that it's interesting coming from the book world. When I sit down and if I write a book, the moment those words appear on the screen, I own the copyright. Whether I've actually registered it with the Library of Congress or not, I own the copyright. It's not the same yet with voices, which I think is interesting because everybody's voice is their own voice print. Do you know, it's the same as fingerprints or tongue prints, like that's individual to you. So your voice should be yours and not be able to be lifted and crafted and cloned and everything without your permission and without your compensation. So I think AI can be a great tool when it's used intentionally, ethically, and purposely, and people are compensated accordingly and have the opportunity of permission. So I think AI can be a wonderful thing. It helps me in certain ways with my own business, with my own family, but I can also see where it can become a very slippery slope that people could abuse it, just like any tool that comes up in technology. Really.
No, I agree 100%. That's why I am guilty of making AI videos for fun, and that's the key word, wink wink, for fun. But at the same time, now people are making AI accounts on Twitter and AI accounts on TikTok. It's like, oh, you're not a real person, you're an AI. That's where, and hopefully not on LinkedIn, but that would be the kiss of death. But the point is, it isn't the technology, but it's the problem. It's the individual using the technology that turns it into a problem. Here's an example. I had a call for a doctor's appointment. My dad had a call for a doctor's appointment. And you can't talk to a real person. Every time you call a freaking doctor's office, now thank God 911's not like that. You know, if you have a fire, you can't talk to a real human person because they force the AI on you. And that's where it's dangerous and lazy at the same time, because people want to be interactive. People want to work. You know, I would like to work a 9 to 5 doing what I love. And of course, you have some other jack-offs who don't really want to work and ruin things for everyone else. But the fact that they're now going to have AI writing movies, directing films, tiny little things, just tiny little things that we're going to start from the beginning and got to go up. That's where the problem begins, because if you rely on something very heavily, you're really going to ruin. I saw a rumor recently, they're going to release Triple H to replace, I'm a big wrestling fan. They're going to be, Triple H does the storylines and the directives of, you're going to do this. They're going to replace them with somebody else, but that individual is going to use AI. What's the matter of sitting down with 2 or 3 people in a room and say, we're going to come up with AIs together, stories together, then take the shortcut out, say, AI does all the work and we don't have to, you know what I mean? It's, yes, you get the pros and the cons, but at the same time, it's really shitty and it's kind of a lazy thing to do.
I think we'll go through a phase where all of that will happen, right? And then I think we will come back to the fact that everybody craves human connection. And the generations coming up, they can spot AI from a mile away. They know exactly when content has been created by AI, voice has been created by AI, and they're not really fans. And AI, people love connection. They want human connection. And I think we'll eventually kind of full circle that. Do you know what I mean? That AI will be integral for certain things, but there will be other parts where, like you wanting to call the doctor's office and speak to a real person that can solve problems in real time, that AI just can't do other than give you yet another prompt. So I think we'll just come back to that human connection and it will be back to people in the room discussing stories and creating content.
And it's true anyway, because everything does come full circle. But let me ask you this, with the last couple minutes, I do want to talk about some of the books that you wrote. The first one I want to talk about is 12 Days to Love. What was the story or inspiration? What was the story and inspiration behind that? Okay,
so 12 Days to Love is the first in the Destination of Hearts romance series that I wrote. It was for it was a group of us as authors that came together, and we were each going to publish a book. They all had to be destinations, so travel places, and then after a certain period of time, we would retain our rights, and then we could market on our own. But in the beginning, we would all be marketing together. 12 Days to Love takes place between it's a first chance romance, which means our boy and girl have not met prior to the start of the book. And it's an Italian cruise around Italy. I did a study abroad in Torino, which is in northern Italy, during college, and really loved it. So I'm actually headed back to Italy in 2026 for the first time in a long, long time. So I'm brushing up my Italian. But that one, I haven't done a cruise. I'm going on my first one next year in 2026. But this is the great thing about being able to do research, is you can learn everything that you haven't done. But because I did love Italy so much, and I do, that's why I chose to base the book there, visit some amazing places that would be on the beaten path, and maybe a few that you would learn fun facts about that you had not been to before, didn't know that you could do. And that launched there's 5 books in that series now. So you travel to Italy, London, that's Kiss and Makeup, Sugar and Spice is Spain, and then we have, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget my own names. The last one is Greek Billionaire, and that's Greece. And we are missing France, Love and Bloom. That's number 3. Love and Bloom I wrote. And then a couple of years ago, several of the places that they had gone to, they were chateaus in the Loire Valley. I had not been there when I wrote the book, but I got to go there in person later and took pictures of all those gardens and places that they had been, and that was a real treat. I do a ton of travel. So there are some more countries that I probably could add to that series now.
And I found this one, that's why we're talking, all the pictures are obviously on the screen, but I found this one very interesting because a lot of people, I don't know if it's a stereotype or anything, but do you think older women like to date the bad guys, but they really want to bring the good boys home? Because the reason I mentioned that, because the book that you wrote accidentally led to a rock star. And you hear the expression like, oh, the girls like the bad boys, but they really want to bring the good ones home because that makes the mother happy. But, what was the whole story about that?
Right. So the fake relationship trope is a big one that romance readers love. So Accidentally Wed to the Rock Star feeds into that trope. It's also a celebrity trope because I'm dealing with a rock star. And for that particular one, we have Gwen and anyways, they have already known each other, but there's a publicity stunt being brought about to promote the new album. They're going to debut the new song at this concert, and unbeknownst to them, the drummer, the whole stunt is that they've gone through a selection process with their fans, and they found a girl to marry the lead singer to. And when they actually do the stunt, the drummer went online and actually got licensed to wed them for real. So they find out the next day they're actually legally married, and that's when everything goes crazy. Because what are they going to do? They hadn't planned to be married to each other. It was just for publicity and for this, this show. And so they have to make decisions about, do they go forward with the relationship? Do they not? And they each come with their own emotional baggage from loss in family life prior to this that they have to work through. And they decide ultimately to stay together for the duration of the festival. It's the Sweethearts Music Festival. It's a spin-off from that series. And at the end, they'll just break up, right? And then there'll be old news. Something else will crop up to be the next sensation, splashed across the internet. And then life will move on. So, it is a romance. When romance readers open a book, my kids are always like, Mom, romance readers know at the end, they're always going to be together. Why did they open the book? And I'm like, this is because we love the journey and we love to know the details, right? So it's not a spoiler at the end. You either get an HFN, which is a happily for now, or an HEA, which is happily ever after. And so, of course, they end up together at the end. Otherwise, you're reading a love story. If they don't end up together at the end, it's a love story. If they do, it's a romance. But that was what I wanted to explore. Two people that were actually really well suited for each other, but probably wouldn't have come together on their own, and having to explore that relationship. And at what point are you still faking it? And at what point do your real emotions take over your actions? So that's what I had fun exploring in that book.
Wrapping up the show, I do have a couple questions for you, but real fast, how has COVID impacted your life? And do you see life in a different point of view? And what social medias are you on, and what do you recommend?
Sure. Okay. So COVID for me was not as crazy as for some other people because all of my work was already remote at that point. Writing my books could be done from my home. Doing voiceover, which came a little later, was actually branching out of COVID because at that time, of course, all real live theater shut down. And that's when I started missing using my voice. So that's when I started looking into voiceover, was a result of COVID, but not because I jumped on the COVID, I'm going to be a voice actor bandwagon, but because I wanted another creative outlet. I love my writing, but it doesn't fulfill me in some of the ways that using theater and acting and my voice do. So I needed a different creative outlet for that part of me. And then my other job that I have, wife and mom is always top of my list. Those are both done at home. But I am also a finance manager for pediatric practice. And that's also done remote. So really, COVID for me was I was already home, and now I just had everybody else in the house with me. My two kids and my husband, and we were all now in the house going to school or working from home. And I was like, you guys are throwing off my whole routine because I'm used to having you gone for certain hours of the day, and I'm having to help you monitor getting onto your classes on time. And my kids were a little bit older. I had middle school and high school at that point, so they were kind of more responsible for themselves. But just navigating all of us trying to be in the house, having spaces where we could be on or off camera, talking or not talking, and we have enough room, thankfully we can do that, but just managing kind of that, and also trying to find ways for everybody to still feel connected, not just within our family, because obviously we couldn't go places, we were all together. But you can be in the same space and not be connected, so making sure we're actually finding connection and sharing the same space at the same time. And then also making sure that we were still fostering the connections to other people outside of our home bubble, so that when COVID calmed down and things started to reopen, we didn't have to start from scratch again. We had already fostered all those relationships all the way through with family, extended family, friends, kids to play with in the neighborhood, that sort of thing. So just managing all of that really, and making sure that connection was still at the core of everything we were doing, even if it was on a screen. Absolutely. So those were the things that I took away from COVID.
And it's very important to be vaccinated for the flu, especially now to uprising in COVID and RSV. So it is very important to be vaccinated. But I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But how can our listeners get in touch with you? What social media are you on?
Yeah, so you can email me at lisa@lisaswinton.com. You can find me on Instagram and on YouTube under the same handle, which is Lisa Swinton Creative. You can find me both those places. And if you're looking for my author things as well, you can find me on Facebook under Lisa Swinton Author. I have a place there. And then as an author, I also run a newsletter that you can join from my website, which is www.lisaswinton.com. My voiceover stuff is there as well. So that's where I hang my hat. And that's enough for me.
No, absolutely. Now, we're stay tuned. We're going to go over time, and this will be available on TikTok. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I hope I made a good impression on you. And to let you know, to our viewers know, we're going to have a holiday episode on December 13th. I extend an invite to you, your husband, your kids. The more that are available, and I hope you guys can make it. But this episode will be aired tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So make sure to like, share, promote, and our goal is to reach 500 views. But until we meet again, it was a real honor and privilege, and I really appreciate you, and a happy holidays.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Happy holidays.